Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here is the hemorrhagic and apoplectic Voice of Doom. Thank you, Mr. Announcer. I thought we had a new policy that we wouldn't use good in front of any time of day until this is all over, which should be in about 2 or 3 weeks. Behind my calm and somewhat friendly and, happy-go-lucky demeanor, I am seething. I am livid. I am very angry because I gave everybody fair warning, and I gave Petri Dish fair warning to get out, and I said everything's going to get exponentially worse by the day. Now, today is the 26th of August. Now, ISIS, 2 suicide bombers, one at the hotel 2 blocks away from the checkpoint or the gate, and one bomb at the gate. 11 a.m. Looking at the news. 4 Marines dead, 3 wounded. And I'm like, I got things to do. I don't have time to do a diatribe right now, so I'll go do my errands, and I'll probably come back and things will be even worse. And when I came back, I didn't even have to come back. I heard it on the radio. 12 dead and 17 injured at 12:37 our time, Pacific. Well, whenever I got this. It's my perception of time. It was an hour and a half later that it went from 4 to 12 and 3 to 17 and got something like 50 Afghanis died. So it was a big explosion, okay? It was a big explosion. It wasn't like nothing. And our hearts go out to those that gave their lives. I wish their hearts would go out. I know that's what Petri Dish is going to say, and I wish his heart would go out any way possible, out of his chest cavity. Taliban condemns ISIS for this act, even though they let him through. So there's a lot to chew on here. I didn't really want to have to go into this kind of, go into this kind of a soliloquy about how Marines are now dying. Now, what are they going to do now? They're trying to evacuate as many as possible, and the idiots are still touting themselves for the greatest airlift in human history. It's like, I'm so proud that we're able to evacuate so many people at once after we fucked up so badly. And they're still holding their head up. Well, one person isn't holding up their head. I mean, I'm not talking about Petri Dish who can barely function. I'm talking about this Kirby guy who did not lift up his head once when he handed over the ball to some guy in a khaki suit. And I won't call him whatever title he has, because he shouldn't have allowed this to happen. And by allow it to happen, I mean the whole thing from the beginning. Somebody should have spoken up a long time ago, and I don't like these backseat quarterbacks either on Monday morning, which I might be one of them, but I'm looking toward the future, and I don't like what I see. And I've told these guys to get out, and they're not getting out, and now you see what happens. You see the consequences of them not heeding my word. 12 dead, 17 injured. That was just in an hour and a half from 4 and 3. Now, are they going to have a tally on CNN about all the casualties and all the deaths? Are they going to have a tally in their corner? These many people died since the evacuation. These many people died. Because if their buddy, Orangey, had been in charge and doing the same exact thing, they'd have a tally. They have tons of tallies. They'd be keeping track of every hair that's harmed on anybody's head in that country because of this awful human being who was allowed to be president. And I will call him president. He's the last president we'll ever have. What we have now, as I've told you before, is a petri dish of putrefied excrement of a diseased jackal. You see, it's flowing off the tongue better now. I'm getting used to that. But we await an update from our beloved pile of crap. And so in the meantime, while we're waiting for him to come out and say what a great job he's doing, let's do a little bit of history. Or a little bit of, current event information that most people don't talk about because maybe it's not important. But it's funny that we always say the Kabul airport is not the Kabul airport, it's the Hamid Karzai International Airport. Hamid Karzai, the first president of Afghanistan after America pummeled him, got rid of the Taliban once and for all. And he was president from 01 to 14, and I checked out his resume, and he is kind of like an American politician, only better than ours, because he's actually not that bad on paper. He is corrupt, but I think that's expected of people like that. I think that people would be suspicious if their leaders weren't corrupt in countries like Afghanistan and the U.S. and places like that. He wasn't that bad. I mean, he wanted a coalition government. Well, he and his buddy Abdullah, that's like Sirhan, probably still in jail. It's amazing. Abdullah is the High Council for National Reconciliation, and that sounds like a good organization. And I think he meant it. I think he might have been a good guy. Well, now both Karzai and Abdullah are stuck in their apartments or houses, and they got guards in front of them, and the guards are just waiting for the word that all the coast is clear now, so let's take them out and hang them. So I can only imagine how terrified they are. And they kind of were making progress toward the Afghanistan that could have been a good country. I mean, Karzai, yeah, corrupt, and Abdullah, I'm sure. I would assume so. But they still did good things. I mean, we can say that about all our presidents. Ghani is Ghani. Now, Ghani is in the United Arab Emirates, and he's in exile, and rumor has it that he has not only the shirt on his back, but other rumors have it that he went out with a lot of money that he'd gotten from the public coffers, and probably from the U.S. aid, and probably decided he was going to feather his nest a bit and flee, and he said straight out, well, I left because otherwise they'd hang me. And he was right. So that's self-preservation. And he took a lot of money with him, and corruption begets corruption. So, he's just one more of those idiots that end up in power. Because the idiots aren't really idiots, because they were smart enough to get up the ranks to where they could actually be in power. But they're horrible. Just a little bit of homework about who was in charge and where they went. Now, Karzai's awaiting his death, which must be kind of torturous, because it might be a death that nobody wants to have. And CNN's not tallying up the casualties, because they, their thoughts and prayers are with everybody. And it's like, I wouldn't want them. Please don't pray for me, because I don't know who you're praying to. I had to get stuff off my chest. I didn't really plan anything. I had some notes, and I thought they'd be interesting, but looking back on it, they're not. Just the people we betrayed and the whole history. But it is the Hamid Karzai International Airport that's being bombed by ISIS terrorists that were released by the Taliban when they took over Afghanistan, and released by America when they sent the prisoners from Guantanamo. And I'm sure that ISIS and Taliban have a little understanding, and we'll see where that understanding goes, because they could say, okay, let's have a big shindig with the Americans and this whole thing, and we'll worry about killing each other later. And I'm afraid that they may have their shindigs and their parties, and they may go, hey, things might be better if we work together, cooperate as terrorists. I think we're in the catbird seat right now, and I think we shouldn't kill each other. Let's try to find common ground and destroy the world. And that's exactly what's going to happen. August 31st is going to be a big date. I said I was going to start a march. I said I was going to march by myself. I'm getting discouraged by everybody. It's going to be performance art at best, or me just looking foolish at worst. I mean, I don't care about looking foolish, but it's very smoky out here, and to walk 12 miles is not going to be fun, and I don't mind doing it. It's a small sacrifice for a person to make over what these guys standing in the sewer have to go through, and now they're getting bombed on top of everything else, and they're shooting randomly into the crowds. So I will tell you what's going to happen in the next day or two. Well, there's going to be more bombs. There's going to be more death. The tally, which we won't see, is going to go up. And then there's going to be a period of calm. And that's when I'd be scared. That's what they always say in the war. I'm scaredest when it's quiet. Now, there'll be a grand send-off, a grand launching of the departure of the duped warriors who have to leave. There's going to be a grand ceremony. And I don't know what it's going to be, but you just watch what happens. We got 5 days now, right? It's 26, 5 days. It's going to be a bell curve of from up to down. It's going to be a lot of incidents over the next 2 days. And then by the third or fourth day, there's going to be quiet. And Doofbag, not even Doofbag, Putrefied is going to get on stage and say, things are quiet, we've got things under control. And right when he says that, the big whammy is going to come. And they are in every position to give us any kind of whammy they possibly could imagine. They're probably looking at all their options and going, God, I don't know what to, it's a smorgasbord. I mean, it couldn't have been handled worse. I don't see U-Haul trucks. I'm getting impatient. I was beyond impatient. I tell you, get the guy out before Friday. And you guys aren't listening, and you're going, well, the election is coming up. And it's like, no, we're not going to have anything. November is not going to happen in 22. There is going to be no November. I don't think you guys get it yet. But my point is being made day by day. Every single day. And I don't want to be vindicated, but I will tell you that it's going to happen. So, the end of the world, that's such a ridiculous conspiracy theory. No, sorry. I didn't start this diatribes just to have fun. I am having fun because I'm getting my, angst out this way, and I can be kind of pleasant at work because I've already gotten up my anger. So I think diatribes to me is fun, but it's not fun to talk about what I have to talk about because I ain't fooling around. I ain't talking about stuff just to be, here's a quirky guy that thinks the world's coming to an end. I should dress up in my, robe and have a long beard with a sign, You're seeing now, and you're going to see more and more, and the more you see, the more you're going to panic. And we got a lot of different fronts of disaster coming our way all at the same time. And you want me to list them for you? Okay, terrorism, 1. Pandemic, 2. The cure for the pandemic, 3. The fires, 4. The people pouring through the border willy-nilly doing whatever they want. What happened with the tunnels over there? Are they using those too? Getting bombs through? Because there's going to be bombs. Okay, well, that's 5, and that's enough to worry about for now. We can worry about CRT and transgender bathrooms when we have the time and luxury to do that, which should be somewhere in 2150 when they start clearing away the rubble and try to analyze what happened as they're trying to do now. So yeah, failures. Petri dish of putrefied excrement of a diseased jackal should be out of here by the end of the day. If I come back from work, I'm not going to be happy if I still see him in his driveway eating an ice cream cone. He can get his backpack, he can load up his cones, have someone else bring the ice cream. If he wants to bring the ice cream with him, let him. If it melts, well, that's too bad. I don't want to see him anymore, and I'm serious. So I'll sign off for now. I'll come back in about 8 hours and be more incensed. Okay, bye.